Hello there, welcome to another adventure with Cookie and the Cowboy. Hey, did you know that you can catch more fish with a dry fly than you can with a worm? At least that's the theory that Jim McCrue had in 1985 in the June issue of Outdoor Life. Join us on another episode where we explore vintage angling and old outdoor life. So today we're going to go explore that method that Jim wrote about in 1985. He suggested that you find a high mountain stream to test his theory. That's where we're headed. We're hiking up into a range right now. And we've got the gear he suggested, the techniques wrote down in my pocket. We're gonna go give this a try. Let's go get up here a mile or so up on this stream and let's find out. Okay, we've hiked a mile or two up this trailhead. We should be far enough away from the trailhead to be in a section that hasn't been fished as much. So my plan now is to bushwhack my way down through there over to the creek, and then we'll just slowly start working back and testing out Jim's method and reliving a little bit of his theory and idea as we go. Should be a lot of fun. I'm glad you joined me for a little bit of vintage angling. All right, let's get bushwhacking. I can see a little bit of a faint trail down right through here, so shouldn't be too bad. And I can hear the stream, it's not too far away. We'll work our way down there. And, oh wow, it's gonna be a hoot. Yeah, not bad at all, this hike right through here. I can see down through there, little drop. I think we're right close to the stream. Water down there, it's a pretty steep drop, but right close to us, and I've already seen a nice little fishing hole. We're here, beautiful little stream. One thing that I haven't mentioned probably is this is late in the year, so flows are pretty low and just limited amount of water coming down. That means I'm very, very visible. So I'm gonna, even despite how good Jim's methods may be, I'm gonna have to make sure that I am stealthy and careful as I present these dry flies. So Jim suggested that we start with a Royal Coachman or an Adams. Shoot, had one. Got him, a beautiful cutthroat on a Royal Coachman. Oh, I'm telling you what, it is hard though, because not only is the stream flows low, but also the sun's in my back. I think I need to wade across to the other side so I don't keep flipping a shadow on there. So why a Royal Coachman? Jim's theory on the matter in his article is that there have been more fish caught on a Royal Coachman than any other fly ever made. Now, of course, this was back in the 1980s, and you can certainly argue that, but I've caught a lot of fish on a Royal Coachman. The odd thing is, what Jim suggests is fish don't have that high of IQ that people give them credit for. There's some select places where it's harder to catch them and you have to match a hatch. But the Royal Coachman doesn't look like anything. It looks like a Christmas tree. Doesn't match any bug out there. Yet it still catches a ton of fish. His suggestion is keep it simple. Enjoy the experience and learn and grow as you get more time on the water. There's another one. No, that's a pretty brookie this time. And there's another one, another nice little brookie. Yeah, that's pretty. Jim said the reason why a dry fly will catch more fish than a worm, according to him, is it's a simple method. I know people will disagree with that. You can make it yourself, which is true. Tying flies is a hoot, fun hobby. They're not messy. Yeah, I hate wiping old worm guts all over my jeans. And you can fish them on streams, rivers, lakes, just about any body of water, ponds. They'll catch catfish, they'll catch trout, bass, crappie, perch, salmon, steelhead, just about anything you can possibly imagine. So his contention is, why not? And it's so much fun. Another nice brookie. One of the most important things that Jim mentioned was that you need to keep it simple. Simple flies. He suggested that Royal Coachman was great, but he had a few others that he recommended. An elk hair caddis, a renegade, a light Cahill, maybe a hopper pattern and an ant pattern are all appropriate. But he said, don't get too wound up on getting a whole bunch of flies. Keep it simple. Keep your gear simple. Just a small rod, fruit reel, a little bit of floating line, and a little bit of leader. You can learn all them fancy techniques about long line shooting later. He especially mentioned, you don't need to become an expert in insects or in how to flip a 50-yard cast with some weight forward line or something like that. I've got a simple 3-weight rod, a little bit of basic floating line, about 4 feet of leader is all I'm running on this small stream, and I'm using stealth to make up for that. And I got another one out of this hole right here. Looks like a nice little cut. Sweet. This little hole's produced a couple of fish. Another one over there, that looks like a little cutthroat as well. Cool. And this fish has picked up a few fish. Here's another one, another little cutthroat. Go in loose, turn loose. One thing I can tell you, I did not hike high enough up the basin to get out of where it's been fished heavy. There's a lot of boot traffic through here, so I'm working hard for every fish. And anytime I crop my head up over, I can see them scooting out and I'm missing them. But man, check out. I don't know if you can see them beaver cuttings up in there. Them are some big old logs. Here's an example right here. See how big a log that old beaver was whacking down. Hungry beaver. Hey, check out this canyon I'm about to move into. This is going to get real interesting. Look down there. Big old slot cliffs. I can see some big holes. I'm going to fish the front side of this, and then I'm probably going to have to go up over top and down. I don't want to get caught down them ledges, so let's go give that front hole a try. I think I'm actually going to cross. The truck's on the other side of the road, and I don't know exactly what this looks like below it. I don't think there'd be any issue, but it's starting to turn dark. I've got probably about an hour. I better smash stick arm on the other side of this thing. And check out the beaver dam home over there. Check out the beaver home. I don't know if this is actually him trying to make a house. I think it is, because right there I can see a cut that probably tried to go out there to the stream, but tough place. The water flows just aren't high enough to keep it in here, and it's a tough place to put a dam in. Well, let's test and see if this camera works. This is about twice now in 3 weeks. This time I was jumping across them rocks and slipped and fell, dropped the camera down in a big old hole. Had to go do a little bit of fishing for it to catch it, but I got it and we're back on the fishing trip again. Let's see if we can get back to catching some fish. And there's another one, that little pond over there. I wished I could get better footage for you, but what's working right now is I got to be really stealthy, and that just means I can't set up a camera and be real obvious doing that. I got to sneak. So stealth and size of the fly has been much more important today than the type of fly. If I put my body in view, I'm in trouble. But I got a little cutthroat on right now, right there. Better get him off. This particular stream was a recommendation from friends of mine. And yeah, the fishing's been great. I haven't been able to get a lot of it on film because it is just rough, rocky stuff, and I've had a hard time setting the camera up. But we picked up 4 or 5 more that we haven't got on film. But man, just look at these ledges I got to hike through. This is wicked wild stuff. Check out up there. Man, yeah, that is just insanely cool country up there. Great recommendation. Now there are certain waters where you're going to have to match a hatch. They've been fished hard, and the fish will key on some big hatches. But for the most part, if you try your luck on some high mountain streams, you don't have to worry so much about matching the hatch as you do matching the size. Size becomes much more important in what you're doing. And I'm downsizing right now. I've had a whole bunch of hits, and I just can't get them to hang on. Looks like the stream's got a lot of small fish in it. It's going to be a lot of fun, but I've got to downsize. Boy, my balance just isn't as good as it used to be as I'm getting older. About 4 times I've fallen down trying to get through this rocky section. Don't tell Cookie that. She won't let me go bushwhacking no more on my own. Especially if I keep losing the camera. I got to get me some more fish on the line, man. This strategy works. If the old cowboy could just spend more time fishing and less time chasing his camera around and getting out of holes. farther I move downstream towards the trailhead and the RV camp area, the fewer and fewer the bites are becoming. No surprise there. I think we're wrapping her up, it looks like. 2 or 3 more decent holes down here. I'll try as I get towards the truck. Well, folks, what an amazing adventure in a beautiful section of creek and rocks. Man, I wish I hadn't kind of blown an hour at a time chasing my GoPro, but that's kind of par for the course for me. But can you catch more fish with a dry fly than a worm? I don't know that this proves anything. It just tells you that dry fly fishing is a fun way to catch fish. And according to Jeff, just make sure you keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Learn some good habits on some easy places to fish and then grow. Learn about insects, learn about tying flies, learn about trout habits, then take on the tougher and tougher rivers, but enjoy the journey. That's really the message, isn't it? And as Cookie always says, no matter how hard your struggles are, there's always something beautiful.